Hello, Ruth. I just wanted to pitch this idea to you to use Airtable for organizing some of your Cricut stuff. So this is the Airtable homepage. Um, Airtable is broken down into workspaces. I have mine. You can just use mine. Inside a workspace, you have different things called bases, basically a database. Um, this is the Cricut base and that I made based off of your spreadsheet. I don't know how many more times I can say the word base in a minute. Um, uh, anyway, the base is made of tables. So there's a projects table and a materials table. A table is made of records. The rows are essentially records, are called records, and the columns are called fields. Um, yeah, it's just database language. I don't know what to say about it. Um, Here we have the status is a field type, a single select field type with your color coded statuses in rational order, not alphabetical order, and you can sort by status if you want. Um, uh, so it's sorting by the order that I defined it in, not actually. Let me see. Yeah, the order I defined it in, not alphabetical order. Um, and also you can filter. You can filter out where status is not is not uh, is not delivered because maybe you're just not concerned about things that you've already finished right now. Um, and yeah, you could also group by. So maybe you want to group by. We're sorting by status. Maybe you want to group by customer. You could also group by status if you wanted. So group by customer, um, from A to Z, right? Collapse all, I guess. I don't know why not. Um, so now you can see everything you've got for each customer. Um, and you can see a sum of the payments for each customer. Maybe get rid of this, and you can see maybe there's a little more sum in there because it was filtering out over here. It was 15 under Angeli, but anyways, yeah. So all of these views and stuff. Let's say, oh, that's another thing. You can have attachments. I added this attachments field. So you can have more than one attachment in the field for a record. Um, I added this here just to show you what it would look like. You can see it nice and big. Um, I don't know what this does. Okay, it shows you like the list of the attachments. You can add more or whatever. Um, you can have like in the notes. You're not limited to a single. Uh, well, let's see. So when it comes to the field type, you can have single line of text or long text. So I set the notes field to long text. So you can like open it up and have multiple rows of text, and you can write beautiful poetry like that. Um, uh, what else? Um, yeah. So hopefully this is enough to make you think that maybe this is an interesting tool. Uh, there's and any view or arrangement you can save as its own view. And there are different kinds of views. All of the kinds of views you've been looking at so far are all just the grid kind of view. Um, but there's also a calendar view. This is a calendar view based on the completed by field. Um, and I've filtered out all of the delivered items, and I'm sorting by status. Anyways, and you can search for records. You can click on one. You can expand the record, right? And all of the views you can get to this expanded record view where you just see everything laid out, focused on that specific record. You can look at the sort of history of the record, activity history. Yeah. Let's see. I mentioned you could search for the records. You can change the view in different ways. Anyway, so calendar view is actually not even that interesting. There's Kanban view. This one I set it up so that these columns, they call them stacks. So it's stacked by status, and it's sorted by the complete by field. And the cards I set them up so that they would show some interesting things. Anyway, so each of these, you're right. I said stacked by status. So, and you can scroll over. You can sort of minimize some of the stacks, right? Like maybe you're not so interested in looking at completed and delivered right now. I don't know. You can create new records, create new stacks, which would and you can pick these up and move them around. It's pretty intuitive. Same thing's true of the calendar. If you pick something up and move it to a different date, it changes the associated date field, complete by date, on there. And then here's a gallery of past work, which, I just set it up. It's the gallery type of view. It's sorted and filtered, and gave it a reasonable name, gallery of past work, right? There's also a form. You can create forms to make it easy to submit new records, or you can share a link with other people so that they can submit new records, and edit the form to specify exactly how they're going to submit things and what they can edit and not edit, or what fields they can submit and what the limits are on those and whatnot. I didn't really do a lot of editing on that. Anyway, and there's a mobile apps for this. So the mobile app, it doesn't have all of the ways of viewing the stuff that's in here, but it's still good. It's certainly, as far as mobile is concerned, a lot better than looking at a spreadsheet. So that, I suppose, is probably the number one reason why I would recommend it to you. When it comes to adding attachments, you can add them from lots of places, including just taking photos. And likewise on the phone, you can add attachments just through your camera on the phone. There is eventually, I think you'll hit some limit on the amount of space that can be taken up. I think I've got a couple of gigs at least. And I'm not using it for anything. So you go for it. If you do hit some barrier or some limit, then we'll figure out what to do. We could probably just delete some old stuff that you don't actually want or need anymore sitting around. There are ways to export data and export records to pare down on the amount of space things are taking up. If I suppose at this point, I probably said everything that's actually useful. So now I'm going to say some other things, because who would I be unless I said something useless? So one of the interesting field types is the ability to link to other records that are in other tables. So one example of something you could do, you don't really need to do this. I don't think you actually really need to do this, but you have this cut material field. You could say that field type isn't just some text, a line of text. You could say that it's linked to a record in this table. So you could have a sort of catalog of all of the materials that that you can acquire and cut. And then for your projects, you could link in multiple different materials that you're planning on using in the project. You could have a table of tasks, and tasks could be linked to a project. And so when you open up one of these project records, you could see a list of the tasks from the task view or task table. Or you could have a table for all of your expenses, all transactions. And then you could link those transactions to a project. And so you would have a record of the things you've spent money on for the project, and also a record of times people have paid you to help fund that particular project, and see that, have that automatically rolled up and calculated into an automatically calculated field here for the project, just to see where the project is financially. Anyway, so just so you can see, like, what's sort of on the horizon of what's possible. I'm not saying all these things are necessarily good ideas, just that they're possible. And but the main, most important thing is that the interface is intuitive, much easier, I believe, to use and understand, and to find your way around. So there you go. That's Airtable for your Cricut stuff. Or we could keep using the spreadsheet. I'm okay with that too. I just thought you would like this better. Anyway.